Jerry Nard.
What's going on, my people? Welcome to the Sn95 Power channel. Today we are going to do some paint correction. Now, you can kind of take bits and pieces of this if you want to do a paint correction on your car. I recently painted this car, I painted this car really 3 times within the last 3 years. And most recently I just painted this cowl hood. So by me doing so, I know how much clear I have on here. I have a lot of clear, and so I'm able to really cut into this clear using these techniques. With your car, I wouldn't really suggest doing this unless you get some kind of tool to measure how much clear you have on your paint. But when it comes down to using the compounds, you can pretty much use this technique without having fear of damaging your paint job. If you're going to use the sandpaper, which is the first part of this paint correction that I'm going to do, I would really try to use some kind of gauge to see how much clear coat you have to work with, or you could damage your paint. Getting that out of the way, we've got this cowl hood. I sprayed it, I believe last fall, just recently put it on for this season. Never really did any kind of cutting or buffing on it, and we're going to get into that today, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Like I say, this is just how I do it. I'm not a professional. This is just some trial and error techniques that I've done. Actually, I have some friends that are professionals, like John Coates, Greg Jones. I've reached out to them and got a lot of information from them, and YouTube University. So I just want to show my Sn95 brethren and sisters out here, if you want to tackle this, if you really want to do some heavy paint correction, because this is what I would consider a heavy paint correction, because you're going to be using some real abrasives like 15, 3000, 8000 outside of your compound. So when I talk about abrasives, I'm talking about kind of this. So what we have here is basically like the 3M Trizact system. So the Trizact system is a system of sandpapers from 1500 grit to 8000 grit. Now, these are two different, this is a kit by itself, the 3000, 8000, and I just bought this 1500 separate. But I do believe that there is a single kit where you can get all 3 of these together. For whatever reason, I don't remember, I had this for so long, I bought it separately. So you have 1500, and then you step from 1500 to 3000, from 3000 to 8000. So when I do this, I always use a interface pad, and by this palm sander I have being a 5-inch, when I want to get into small places, I kind of cut these to size to fit on this 5-inch, and when I have a bigger surface area, I use a 6-inch pad, and I kind of use that to use my Bauer dual action polisher for that. You'll see that in the video. So the idea behind this is you want to get rid of orange peel. You want to get your clear coat as flat as possible. So what you would do is, some people might start at a lower or higher grit. I'm just going based off of this 3M Trizact system. I've had great success using this, and really haven't had any issues as far as damaging. But like I say, I know how much clear I put on this paint, so I have a lot of room to work with. So let's go through the steps on how you can do a paint correction. Like I say, at your own risk. If you want to do this on a stock Sn95 paint job, I would be very careful. Honestly, I wouldn't even do 1500. I would probably just do like an 8000 and then go to your polishing compounds. But tools, just a basic palm sander, and like I said, I have a dual action polisher I got from Harbor Freight. That's all the tools I need, and it has some blocks just in case you need to get into some areas where your polishers won't fit. You can use, you know, some hand blocks. So let's get into it. It's kind of going to be a long video, but hang in there, and we'll show you how to get a good finish on your Sn95 paint job. So this is a real thick cushion that I'm using. One thing I can say is be prepared for a mess when you do this. Like when you cut, it's not pretty. You're gonna get the possibility of compound or paste or whatever getting in your engine bay. So I have a blanket over my engine bay. I'm going to start on the flat part first. Every edge that I can get with the palm sander, I'm going to use the palm sander. Some of these more trickier spots, I'm going to use a block. And some spots I'm not even going to get at all. Like this isn't bad, this curve right here. Like this I might not really mess with because I don't want to risk burning through anything. So I'm just wetting everything up. This is a real big cushion I have right here. So I'm not putting a lot of force down on this. It's going to bend, so when I get these curves, I still have to be careful, but I'm not going to burn through anything. So I want to keep this wet. So I constantly want to spray this. This is just how I do it. One thing I do need is my air gun because I want to wipe this off. And I want to look at the texture of this. Let me get some light. So hopefully you can see these high and low spots on here. Let me get the air gun and blow this stuff off. So this is the basic process that you have to go through. When you do this, you want to get that gloss finish to look like a matte finish, but you want that matte finish to be even on whatever panel that you're doing. So we're gonna do this 1500. Once I finish with the 1500, we'll jump in and go to the 3000. All right, so I hit this whole section with the 1500. These spots that are shiny, those are kind of high spots that I'm really gonna not risk damaging or cutting through this hood to take down. This was a pretty bad nib where I'm gonna have to, after I finish polishing and everything, I'm just gonna have to use some touch-up paint and hit those spots. Right along the edges, I could try to get that, but you know, it's risk reward, you know. Is it really going to be that visible if I don't hit this spot? Nah, if you look for it, you'll find it. And you know, there's spots like that throughout this hood, but for the most part, this hood is cut to 1500. So now we're going to go to our 3000 step. So this is just a DA. I'm going to use this at a low speed, and it's pretty much the same principle. Have a soft pad. So I don't know if you can tell this on camera, but the texture difference between this and this. So I don't know if you can pick this up, the texture difference. So one thing I'm doing is getting these 1500 scratches out of here. So rinse, wash, repeat. I'm just using a 3000 pad now instead of the 1500. All right, so the last step of this is 8000 grit. Now with this 8000 promotional video that I saw, that they did this dry, so you don't wet sand it. So all right, so this is the last step of the process for me. You need something to take out those 8000 cuts. I use Sonnex Cut-max, and I have an assortment of pads. Honestly, my go-to pad is part of this Garage orange pad. It's a real good cut pad, works real good with this Cut-max. But starting off first, I have a blue, it's a very aggressive pad. I hit it with the blue pad first. After I cut everything with the blue pad, I'll come back and I'll go to the Ultimate Compound. Ultimate Compound is pretty much going to finish it off. And then after I do that, I like this actually 2-in-1. This is my finishing compound. This is a hybrid polish and ceramic wax in one. It gives a real good deep gloss, and so I'll go over the whole car with this after I finish the hood. And normally with this, I'll either use a hybrid pad like that, or I'll use a black finishing pad. So most likely once I get to this on the rest of the car, I'll use the black finishing pad, but on the hood, I'll use this hybrid pad. So I'm not going to record this whole process of me polishing this car, but we will chime back in once I'm finished with everything and give you the final results. All right, so this is the result of me doing the one step of paint correction. Now, when I say one step of paint correction, I went from the 15 to 3 to 8. I went with my abrasive polish. I went with my less abrasive polish and pad, and I kind of stopped at that. Now, am I going to get every single scratch mark out of this hood or this paint job? I would like to. That's kind of my OCD. But let's just be real. I'm not going to get every single scratch mark out. I can get, I would say 90% of the scratch marks out, but there are some things that I can't let ride, and that's pigtails. And so I have quite a few pigtails on this part of the hood. And so I have a choice. I can continue to use my abrasive compounds to try to knock these pigtails down and hope that the compound will knock it down enough, or I can go to plan B. Now, plan B is to go back to like the 3000/8000 sandpaper. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. I'm probably doing double work, but that's fine because it's YouTube and I'm trying to create content. So we're going to go, because I don't really think this is a deep scratch. So I'm going to pick a section, and I'm going to start here. I don't know if you can really pick that up. So in this little section right here, I've got some pigtails. Actually, it's almost all across the hood. So I'm going to tape off right here, and I'm going to get my 8000. I'm going to do 8000 first. Actually, I won't even do this big of a section. I'm just gonna cut this in half so I'm not wasting my time. So this is gonna be my test section. I'm gonna go straight to the 8,000, see if this 8,000 will cut it out. And then I'm gonna go with my compounds and see how it works. If that doesn't work, I'll move to this other half and I'll go 3,000, 8,000 compound and do it like that. So let's grab a little tape and get to work. All right, I'm trying to show the pigtails. The GoPro is not going to pick this up, so first thing, I'm going to hit this dry. I think my buffer is dying. Yeah. This is dead. So we gotta do it old school way. All right, pigtails are gone. Okay, let's start with some 3M. Give me about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Everything okay? You said what?
You guys are at home?
Yeah, everything else okay?
Yeah, everything else is okay. Okay, just call me back when you can.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Looks a lot better. I don't have the pigtails anymore, but there are still some scratches, which is fine. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make another pass with this more abrasive compound. I don't have any wax grease remover, but I'm just using some Windex just to remove this compound. We're gonna go back over this one more again. At this point, I really don't have to, but I just wanna see how far down this this 3M is gonna take these scratches down. Because normally I at this point I would go over it with some what is that? Ultimate compound. Yeah, this did a pretty good job. Once I go over this with some ultimate compound, it will probably knock damn near 90% of the scratches out of here. But they would come back maybe a week later just because of how I take care of the car. So, you know, to have this thing 100% scratch free is not important. But, you know, at this point, I'm just really trying to test my skills just to see how perfect I can get this hood. So the 8,000 works good. This 3M Perfect It works good. I think on this side, I'm gonna change the pad and try the Sonnex. I've really been a big fan of the Sonnex. But yeah, so that's the process. I'm not gonna do any more recording of me doing this, but I will show you the finished product. All right, so is every single scratch gone off this car? Absolutely not. But I still, I did the center section. I still have to do from the center section out on this. But yeah, this is kind of the process. You see, it can take quite a bit of time depending on how much perfection, as close to perfection you want to get out of this. But with some time and a couple of tools, you can definitely restore the paint on your Sn95. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I would not use any of the sanding disc if you have a original paint job Sn95. If you want to get adventurous, maybe the 8,000 grit or maybe a little bit higher grit. See what kind of scratches you can get out. I was able to get the pigtails out with the 8,000 and a couple of little fine scratches. All the other scratches came out with the Sonnex /3M. Those are my most abrasive compounds. I went to the Maguires Ultimate Compound after that. And then I went to this Turtle Wax polish and ceramic wax in one. I really like that stuff. Like that stuff did do a little cutting and it brought out the shine on it. So that's my technique. I would love to hear what technique y'all use to do any kind of cutting on your Sn95 Mustang. Hey, drop what kind of compounds you use when you're polishing. Like I say, I love the Ultimate Compound from Maguires, and I'm a big fan of this Turtle Wax stuff. For a little heavy work, I would, go with 3M Perfect It or the Sonnex Cut-max. I know Sonnex has like some newer abrasive that's out right now, but I'm really comfortable using this Sonnex. So, hey, leave a comment down below. Tell me what y'all think about this. I wish I could really, outside of saying goodbye, give you a big thumbs up right there. But it came out great. We'll be at Motor City Fox Fest, and I got a lot of work to do to get this car ready for Motor City Fox Fest. We'll be at Stratz in Villa Park on Sunday. But hey, let me see if I can get this in frame. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Tell a couple of people about the channel, and until next time, God bless.